Hailing frequencies open. I've been forgetting to say that at the start of each episode. Welcome back to Trek Retrek. This is episode 6, Mud's Women, here on Geek the F Out. You want to get right into it? Because we have apparently a lot to say about this episode.
First of all, I'm Ensign Kayla.
I'm Captain Johnny.
We're just so excited to talk about this episode, guys.
I need the Star Trek. I'm ill prepared this evening. I need the,
it's okay.
the summary.
After I literally just asked you for the...
Yeah.
That's funny. It's okay. We got this, guys.
Stand by.
Loading.
Okay.
Almost there.
So, according to TVGuide.com, Mud's Women, the Enterprise rescues Harry Mudd and 3 beautiful women at the expense of the dilithium supply. We'll talk about this. Mm-hmm. So they head to the nearest mining planet where Mudd plans to trade the women for fuel.
Oh, we'll talk about this. It's funny because he's not even trading them for fuel. He's trading them just to make a profit, which I guess is technically. Were they going to pay him in fuel? I don't know.
I have no idea what Mudd was getting out of it.
The whole thing was that he would be pardoned. So really it was just him being pardoned. If the original... Go ahead.
I guess that was what he was getting out of the deal with the lithium miners.
Because the initial deal, he was going to take them to some other planet and then, get paid for selling these wives. But yeah, so where do we begin?
So, some context that I don't think you know about yet, but
hit me.
I think that it's part of why this episode is the way it is, is Gene Roddenberry has always described Star Trek as wagon train to the stars. So
what does that
I think
mean?
So the show Wagon Train, which ran for a long time.
I have literally never heard of that.
You never heard of Wagon Train?
No.
I've seen one episode of Wagon Train. My mom was watching Wagon Train, and I happened to be over there helping her with stuff.
I pride myself in knowing a lot about TV, and this makes me real sad that I didn't know this.
It's old show. It's only in black and white. It switched to color for... I was reading about it. It switched to color for the last season. But it's like the Wild West, and they're populating the West, so they're taking wagon trains out west. How many more times can I say west?
Yeah. Take a drink of water or whatever if every time he says west. It's sounding familiar. Maybe my dad talked about this. When did this air?
Pre Star Trek.
Duh.
So 50s, 60s.
Okay.
Hang on. I'll try to...
Well, if it just turned to color, when did color TV come out? Guys, we're already derailed.
Yeah, we're 1957 and 1965.
Okay.
Wagon Train aired.
Yeah, I would say I feel like I've definitely maybe heard my dad talk about this because that was when he was late teens. Sounds familiar. Anywho, so it's described as that?
Yeah, that was kind of like the premise.
To the stars?
Wagon Train to the stars.
To the stars. Not in the stars?
Not in the stars. Maybe. I'm pretty sure it was Wagon Train to the stars.
Okay. Interesting.
Anyway. That was the premise of the show. So I continue.
Me continue?
Or do you want me to go through, my notes?
I can go through. Who is this swashbuckler? His
Harcourt Fenton Mudd.
How his outfit. Just I have so many thoughts about his outfit 'Cause I was like, it's like a casual swashbuckler with, like, this interesting earring and interesting, like, beads that are hanging down, like woven beads that are hanging, and then the hat and the mustache and the chest hair that was, like,
The chest hair
here.
that was, like, glued to the actor's
Yeah,
neck.
I was wondering that. I was like, "That can't be real because it's, like, perfectly there." Like, ugh, sorry, but, like, it just gave me like, not that chest hair in general gives me heebie-jeebies, it looked off because you could tell it was so fake. That gives me
And
the heebie-jeebies.
I think this again is one of those things that came across more convincing on old televisions than it does in high
Yeah,
definition. Um,
for sure.
but in HD, it definitely looks like it's just like
Well, especially
fur
because
that
there's, like,
they
a
glued to
space.
his neck.
There's,
Yeah.
like, a space. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh my god, he's the Irish swashbuckler." That is really hard for me to say. Um,
Leo Walsh, he called himself.
yeah, but he
His pseudonym.
yeah, the Irishman reminded me of was it last episode or the episode before?
Riley and the Naked Time.
Yeah,
Was
when
that
he thought he was an Irishman, so I was like, "That correlates."
that
Um,
was 2 episodes ago. Enemy
okay,
Within was the last episode.
yes. Yeah, and it took me a few tries to figure out exactly what the earring was, and I realized it's, like, blue pieces that are in a circle shape. It's not just like a ball, and then it's, like, held together by these intricate, like, dark gray metal pieces that, like, put it in a ball shape, and I was like, so interesting to me. It's, like,
Yeah.
such an intricate piece for I don't know. Um, yeah, so I have a whole note about that. As I was, like every time I watched it, I was like, "Oh, okay, I it looks a little different here," or whatever. I was, like, very invested in this damn earring. Um, oh, one of the first notes is, "Why is McCoy helping? Isn't he the doctor? Like, bring them on board? Is it just because he's smart?"
I think it was so that if there was anything obviously wrong with them when they arrived, he could diagnose because they were coming out of a ship that was
Yeah,
getting ready to be exploded. If anybody was injured, he'd be there to help.
okay, I guess, but I thought I saw him doing stuff on the not the bridge, but the what is that room called?
The transporter room
Transporter room.
on the panel, maybe. I actually didn't
Mm,
notice if he was doing anything on the
maybe
panel.
he was just standing there. I'm second guessing my whole life now.
But I think the transporter also monitors life signs of the people it's transporting, so he might be there
Mm,
looking at the readouts and adjusting stuff. It's my
okay.
best guess.
Okay, I could see that. Oh, and then it's just such perfect timing when the girls arrive and the whistle goes off right after.
Oh, geez, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. I was like, I wonder if they did that on purpose. It seems a little suspicious. Just a wee bit. But,
They may have.
huh?
They may have.
Yeah. But their dresses, I loved their dresses. I am not like a super fancy person, and I would have expected these dresses to be worse, but they were actually pretty good. I don't know if maybe it's, times change and things styles come back and whatnot, like styles get repeated, I mean, throughout history, but I really liked them. The tassels on the purple one? Yeah, it was a purple one because it was, like, at an angle. Like, that was kind of odd, but, like, other than that, like, I feel like they could have worked nowadays almost. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, with the design of them, at least with
Mhm.
updated materials and sequins that weren't like the size of quarters.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, you talk because I have a lot.
I- um, something I noticed, Uhura was wearing a gold uniform in this episode
Mm.
because this is one of the earlier ones that was filmed, and they hadn't apparently nailed down
Which
uniforms
color?
yet.
Okay.
It was also interesting that it had the sciences patch on it. Uh, so
Interesting.
because have you noticed or did we talk about the different patches? Like Command has the star on it, the
Yeah,
the delta that
kind
becomes
of.
like the Starfleet logo. I thought I had my pin here,
Yes.
but I don't. Um, and operations has like a curly Q, like a question mark without the dot.
I'm
And
clearly not
then
looking at the patches.
sciences has it looks like a globe with two intersecting lines, and she's got
Okay.
the globe, which is and it's the patch that McCoy and Spock both wear because they're both parts of
Mhm.
science departments.
Mhm.
She's got a sciences patch on a command uniform.
Oh,
Just a weird thing that I noticed.
that is very odd.
Um,
Yeah, they must have just not figured it out yet.
when they're when they're in the turbo lift, they refer to Spock as a Vulcanian, which I think is the first and only time that he's ever referred to as like people from Vulcan are just called Vulcans. But they say
Yeah.
Mud was like, "You're a
Okay.
Vulcanian."
Okay. I didn't I feel very validated that that fell off to me now. I was like, I don't know if
Yeah.
I just haven't seen enough of it yet or it is different, but I was like, that doesn't sound right. And also, it makes it sound like volcano.
Almost did a spit take on my mic. That would have been bad. Um,
Let's not.
the lithium crystals. This is in my trivia, but we'll just talk about it here because I got a couple
Okay.
other trivia things. This and Where No Man Has Gone Before are the only time they're referred to as lithium crystals
Hmm.
instead of dilithium crystals. Everywhere else, they're
Oh.
called dilithium crystals. I don't
Okay.
recall noticing them say lithium crystals in Where No Man Has Gone Before, or maybe I did and wrote it off because it was the pilot. But that's what Memory Alpha says. This and Where No Man Has Gone Before are the only episodes that call them lithium crystals.
Interesting. Okay. Wait, isn't the man trap the pilot? Or are you talking about the
Where No Man Has Gone Before was the
Oh,
original
yes.
pilot.
Yeah.
Man Trap
Okay.
was the
Got it.
second
Yeah.
pilot. Um,
Okay.
or no, Where No Man Has Gone Before is the second pilot. Man Trap was the premiere episode.
Jis. We
Okay.
got it.
Uh,
I'm just like thinking in my head, I'm just like, yes, that sounds right. Yeah.
when they're
Not
in the
second guessing.
transporter room, McCoy says never did trust this thing, which is something that persists. McCoy does not like the transporter. He doesn't
Mm.
trust it.
I
He
haven't
doesn't
noticed
like
that
being
yet.
I think this is the first mention of it, but it sticks
Okay.
as a character trait for him. He
Okay.
doesn't trust his body being disassembled, shuffled somewhere else, and reassembled.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
mean, don't blame him. That sounds terrifying.
thank God for Spock, because if not for Spock, this ship, nothing would get done.
No.
The minute the minute a woman comes on the Enterprise who isn't part of the crew, everything falls apart except for Spock.
Yeah. God bless him. More men need to be like that. You're like, no comment.
Well, I mean, it's I'm reading my notes to make
You're
sure I
fine.
didn't cover it. Uh, I think part of it's an aspect of, and I can talk more about it later too because I
Oh,
did write a
your
note
audio
about
just
that.
got weird.
It got weird.
Fascinating.
We're back. Technical difficulties. Um, I was saying,
Johnny sounded
uh,
like a robot.
it did.
He 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 he.
It's a story. I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to
No.
speculate. Um, we were talking about thank God for Spock being the only one there because anytime
Yes.
a woman who is not as part of a woman who is not part of the crew
The
comes
women.
on the ship, everything fucking falls apart.
Yeah.
And we were talking about something with them oogling the women, and
Mhm.
like I think the point I was going to make, and I have a note about it later,
Okay.
is I think it's a aspect of like TV romance kind of stuff
Mhm.
where and we'll just jump to it because it's topical.
Okay.
Kirk and Eve.
Yep.
There's a point where she's like, "I do like you." I'm
Yeah.
like, "You've known him for like she's known Kirk for like 5 minutes. You've been in a
Welcome to
room with him a total
showbiz,
of twice."
baby.
So like, I get there's shortcuts to tell the story and get to where you want to go with it.
Yeah.
Uh, and maybe they have to play things up like that for it. But yeah, when she was in Kirk's quarters, which by the way, do doors not lock on this ship?
I was about to
It's
ask, is it not only do they not lock, but you can walk into anyone's?
the captain's quarters.
That is
You should not.
very
Random
problematic.
ship visitors should not be able to just walk into the captain's quarters.
No.
Like, I get it.
That's
Again,
also
like
could
I
be an
said,
innuendo.
it's
Just walk
something,
into
yeah.
them.
Walk into the captain's quarters. I need the button. Um,
I know.
uh, what was I saying? I get that there's shortcuts you need to make for telling a story, and normally when I would watch this episode, I wouldn't question it. It's suspension of
Yeah.
disbelief.
Yep.
Like, but as we've covered, watching these two like review them and talk about them, I look at things differently if I'm just going to sit down to watch an episode of Star Trek.
Mhm.
Actually, it almost makes me afraid to do this with Next Generation because I love Next Gen so much.
Oh, no.
But
I'm sure it'll be
I'm sure it'll be
fine.
fine. I
Yeah.
know I've watched Next Generation enough that I have just picked up on the things that are like, that's all right. Anyway,
Mhm.
yeah, it's one of those suspension of disbelief things, and they have to do shortcuts to get point across to the audience.
Totally. Yeah.
But yeah, Scotty just does not know how to handle himself when there's women in the room.
Scotty and McCoy. McCoy is
Yeah,
real bad. Like, real bad. Like, when Leo and the girls first come on Leo and the girls
Leo,
first
yeah.
come on, uh, this is one of the lines I wrote down. He says, like, or no, the one he responds to Leo, he, like, asks him, like, "Oh, Kirk is, like, annoyed with me," and then I forget exactly what McCoy says, but it's, like, not answering the question or, like, saying, like, "Yes, they are," or something like that, like he's talking about the women, like he had said something about the women, and he was just like, I yeah.
Was it when they were on the bridge and they were talking about like, are they actually that
No,
much?
when they first came on. No?
I'm
You don't
lost.
remember that? Like,
I
Leo
no, I'm
said
yeah.
something and McCoy just, like, it said something else, like he wasn't even hearing what Leo said?
I'm vaguely remembering it. I've watched the
Okay.
episode twice, and it didn't stick out to me. It's one of those things that stuck out to you. It didn't
Mm,
stick out to me.
okay. Yeah, I just found that funny, and then, of course, his line that said, "Amen to that, Scotty."
Yeah, I remember the amen to
So
that,
good.
Scotty.
So good.
But yes, the point
Yeah.
is, thank God for Spock
Yes.
because I don't know how
And
they'd
his
get anything done.
blush. He's wearing blush this
He's
episode,
wearing blush this episode.
keeping track of, his makeup and prosthetics look. I also noted more subtle smoky eye, so it was a little better on the smoky eye this episode
That's funny
for
because
those.
this is an earlier episode, so this isn't them going later. This is them deciding to go heavier for when they recorded later.
Sure, but I think especially in terms of makeup, especially back then when, didn't really know what works well on, like, what faces or skin tones.
Mhm.
Um, I think they're just trying different things to see what looks good, is my
Yeah.
guess. Yeah, to
Um,
give him that very stern, logical look.
Do you
Oh,
wanna cover some more of your
the butt
points?
shot. When they're
Yeah.
walking down the hallway initially, I was like, "Really?" And even when they were just, like, walking around later too, it wasn't so much a butt shot, it was just, like, a behind the back shot,
Mhm.
but still, I was like, "Alright."
I mean, those things that's one of those things that is still happening today.
Yeah.
Like, I remember didn't the Marvel movies get a lot of criticism about, Black Widow's
Yeah.
unnecessary butt shots?
Like,
Yeah.
she literally it's not even just, like, shots in the film, it's in the, like, the movie posters. She almost always, like, has her back and then is, like, turning around, so then it's like, butt. It's, like, unnecessarily turning around just to show butt, which, I'm
They
not complaining,
yeah,
but
it should be equal opportunity across the board, like, right? Like, put the dudes
then
in those
make my
poses
husband
too.
shirtless. Make Chris Evans shirtless. Just saying. Just saying.
Get Pedro shirtless,
Ah, still so
skinny
sad that
dipping
that didn't
in
happen.
the living waters.
It's okay. One day, girl can dream. Person can dream.
Um, so do you wanna go back over your
Sure.
points?
My next thing I
You are a butt
have
shot.
next thing I have is her standing. I don't know the brown haired one's name.
Ruth. Ruthie.
Ruth. Um, I definitely knew Eve's, but her and then the
I don't remember the
short
other
blonde
one's
hair.
name.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maggie.
Okay.
I lied. I lied. I do
No.
remember her name is Maggie.
Okay. um, when she was standing like seductively in front of the panel,
Yeah.
I was like, "Girl, be more obvious what you're doing." It was just like so awkward, like posing with the panel. Um, so I thought that was really funny. Uh they don't do that ordinarily. Sure, Jan. When Kirk was saying that to Eve, like they don't normally like stare at women walking around. I'm like, that's literally been in every episode. I don't know what ship you're on, Kirk, but your dudes have been staring at women in every fucking episode like they're fucking pieces of meat, and you need to get your shit in line. Just saying. Okay. I thought it was interesting how you said we're supposed to notice them, like supposed to notice the men.
Mhm. Yeah, there's a little bit of, uncertainty around what exactly is going on with
Yeah.
Mudd's women, with
Yeah.
those 3.
There really is because not only do they apparently have superpowers in a way to change their looks, but then like in the elevator with Spock too when he was like, "Oh, you don't have to do that with him." It's like, are you putting it on more? So, like, maybe he did know they had powers? I don't know. It's very confusing, as to what
Yeah,
exactly is going on with
and
them.
is it a side effect of the drug, or
Mm,
is it that they're different, that like a different species that has some kind of mental power?
yeah, and that's why the
And
panel
we
was going off?
this ties in a little bit with my very last point for the end of the episode, so we'll circle back to it. But
Okay.
yeah, it's unclear exactly what's going on with them.
Yeah, my next note is, "Can't figure out short, blonde hair, purple dresses accent." She had a few lines, and they just sounded so
Mhm.
weird every time.
I
Maggie's.
didn't notice
It just sounded
accent.
it wasn't even an accent, it was just, like, how she was saying the words were really weird.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know the actress. Maybe she's not just not a good actress. Uh,
Probably. I think she was, like, trying for an accent maybe, but it just sounded very odd to me. Um, oh, yeah, and then when the women go down there and then, uh,
yeah.
what's his face is, like, "Oh, we're busy, Mr. Kirk," and then he just stands there behind Eve and just, like, stares. I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay." So awkward.
Yep.
Um,
That was yeah.
yeah.
Like Eve's at this point, Eve's not into it. It doesn't seem to be into it at all anymore.
Yeah,
Whatever the con was supposed to be.
yeah, and it's interesting because she's interested in Kirk, and then she's like, "Oh, I don't wanna do this," making it which it came across to me like she doesn't wanna do this, like, seduce Kirk? But then I guess in retrospect, maybe she was just talking about, "Oh, I don't wanna, like, marry someone else." Um, I don't know, I thought that line was really weird, and then when she comes back to their, like, room or whatever, and she's like, uh, oh, dang it, now I forget what exactly she said, but it was just like, I hate you, I hate what you do," or I hate
Yeah. She said she told Harry she hated him. Or
yeah.
I don't
"I
like
don't
you.
like you."
Yeah.
The way she said it, and she's, like, all dramatically, like, leaning against the wall, like, "I don't like you." I just thought that was really funny. Um, oh, I thought it was cool how the playing cards were round.
I had that written down too. Apparently, they were
Yeah.
visible in the rec room in Charlie X, but they weren't if they were there, they weren't as
Ooh,
much of a focus as they
they
are
definitely weren't.
here. But yeah, I thought they were neat.
Love
They
that.
kind of remind me. I have playing cards somewhere. I thought I had them over here, but they're clear
Amethyst.
plastic.
Mm.
So, but I've not seen round ones like that before. Although that makes aside from the what's the card game in Star Wars that Han wins the Millennium
Oh,
Falcon playing?
I
Is
don't
it
know.
Sabacc or is that something else?
Oh, that sounds right.
Those cards are round.
I should know. I'm wearing a Star Wars t-shirt.
Yeah.
By the way, we're
Um,
nerds and geeks of many things, not just Star Trek. And it's May the
correct.
4th, but, this is in the future.
You gave away like the actual now the peek behind the curtain, folks.
It's okay.
Um,
Oh,
do you want to
yeah, I'll keep
go ahead?
going. When they come in well, first of all, he's, like, complaining about all the food that she's cooking.
The whole end of the episode is weird. I have a whole section on it.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
just weird
I
because,
guess
like,
that's
all
not
of a sudden
technically the end.
yeah, it feels like it should be the end. Um, but yeah, like, he's upset with her cooking. He's like, "Oh, ooh," I wrote down the line, "Ooh, female cooking again. I should, like, be so grateful." I was like, "What? What's
Yeah,
going
I
on
don't.
here?" But her line of, "Oh, the sound of male ego. You travel halfway across the galaxy and it's still the same song." I thought that was funny. I was like, "You are very on point." Um, but yeah, I thought that was funny. Like, I was like, "I thought you wanted a wife. Like, what was wrong with her?" Because, like, he didn't want her before she changed.
Yeah, like
Was he just not in on it? I thought he was like, he wanted the deal.
yeah, and I'm not sure if he was just uh
An
upset
asshole?
that well, yeah, there's that. Um, if he was upset that he had to go searching for her, or if she was, if they do have some kind of mental power, if she wasn't using it on him, so he wasn't like,
Mm, infatuated with her.
yeah, I'm not sure.
Interesting. Yeah, I have no yeah, it's weird, like, nothing makes sense. Like, whoever wrote this and, like, continuity and just making sense did not happen here. It was just a clusterfuck, essentially. But still a fun clusterfuck. It was still entertaining. Yeah, because then when they come in and he's literally like grabbing her and like shaking her whatever when they come in and he's like I didn't touch her. I'm like you literally just were.
Yeah, I thought that
You
too. I'm like,
fuck.
you literally just had. I think we know what the
Yeah.
what
He
the
means
meaning
it a
behind
different
that line is.
way.
But yeah, literally, you just had like
It's
you
bad
were
either
grabbing her
way.
arms and shaking her.
Yeah, it's bad either way. Still, like, assaulting her, like, still not good. Um, yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, she's been so grateful to me ever since." I'm like, "Okay, more lies.
Well, you have been
Sit on a
awful
throne
to
of
her, dude.
lies. Sit on a throne of lies." Um, yeah, and also it's interesting the makeup with their I essentially they just looked older, but, like, it almost looked like their skin was just, like, sagging. I don't know. So, like,
It's
not necessarily
probably
older, but it was interesting because sometimes their homely, quote, unquote, "looks" would just be no makeup on their face, and then sometimes it would be, like, the saggy skin.
yeah. Uh that's probably another holdover from one, the makeup uh techniques that were available at the time,
Yeah.
the resolution of CRT televisions. Um,
Mm.
like I think with Ruthie a little bit, it looked like it almost looked like there was scarring
Yeah, it
around her
did.
chin. But yeah, Eve, especially at the last scene where she's sitting at the table with the cards, I almost thought she looked better without all the made up stuff than she did after, when like she turned around and thought the drug was working on her again. Like she looked like over
Sounds like a
made up.
very guy's answer. "You look better
I,
without makeup." And then you're like, "What does no makeup look like?" And they show you a picture of, like, Kim Kardashian with the full face of makeup, and you're like,
yeah,
that's a full face of makeup, but good try, good try." No, I mean, she did look really good. Um, yeah, because also when they would do those, like, very seductive shots of them, they were very, not just hazy, but
it was soft focus.
yeah, soft focus for sure,
Yeah,
which
there
made
was
it
diffusion
interesting.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways,
I did read also one of the things on Memory Alpha about it was, I didn't put this in my facts, but since we're talking about it, the homely look for Eve was literally just disheveled hair. Like they did facial appliances for Ruth and Maggie, uh, but
oh,
they didn't do any kind of like prosthetics for Eve's
interesting. Okay, that makes more
uh,
sense now.
home. I guess homely look is just what we'll
Yeah,
call it.
yeah, we don't think she looks homely,
No.
whatever the fuck that means. Okay, that's most of what I got for just, like, general thoughts.
Okay. Other things that I have written down. I thought the exchange between Scotty and Kirk was interesting when Scotty referred to Mud as a jackass, and Kirk was like, "That's one jackass we're gonna see skinned." I'm like, I get that it was
Yeah!
like a metaphor, but it
That
felt
was
off for
interesting.
Star Trek.
It felt very
Um,
off, for sure.
um, are they the space police? Like they haven't really established what, like these are dudes on a starship.
Mhm.
At this point in the series, they haven't established, are there other starships? What's going on? So,
Don't
like,
know.
from
Could
this, you
not
would
tell you.
think they're like the space police because they put Mud on trial, essentially. And then,
Which with the old pooters.
yeah, and then say they're gonna hand him over to, um, I don't think authorities was the word that they used, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, what did they say? I can't remember either.
I
Essentially,
did
same, same.
Yeah, I did think in that scene was interesting when they asked the computer to scan and they say there's no abnormal readings from the females, but male board members have elevated heart rate, perspiration rate, blood pressure rate,
Mhm.
and Kirk's like,
All the things.
Strike that from the record." Yeah,
Yeah.
because you don't want everybody to know that you're on a ship full of hornballs.
Yeah.
Um,
So funny.
I have written down No, I'm just me, and I don't know why. Um, one of the
As
3
a
said that,
line?
"No, I'm just me." Yeah, and I'm like, I don't think that's quite the case because you've got at that point, we're being led to believe that they've got some kind of mental ability or
I
something going
think
on.
that was, brown-haired. What was her name again?
Ruth.
Ruth, yes. I think that was her when she was in the panel room or in the dispensary next to the panel
Okay.
with McCoy. That sounds like
Yeah.
a clues game. Um, Ruth in the dispensary with McCoy, and the murder weapon was the weird kicking machine. Somehow, like, pulled it off of the wall and turned it into a killing device.
Oh, yeah. You
um,
said kicking machine, and I was thinking this is a blast from the past. There was a restaurant near me called Waffle King
uh-huh.
that had a kicking machine outside, and it was literally a wheel with spokes on it, and the end of each spoke had a boot, and like the wheel would spin and kick your butt. So
I feel
I
like
know
I've
you're talking
seen
about the
that.
machine in the
Yeah.
wall where they're yeah, but
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
first thing I thought was this wheel full of boots.
Mm,
Um,
boots. That's funny.
since we were talking about Ruthie, I do have a note. Her actress is great at looking devious and scheming when she was
She's
in
also hot as fuck.
the quarters with mud. Um, I will agree with you.
I was waiting for that. I was like, "All right, just me."
No, not just you. She was
I mean, all
my
3 of
favorite
them.
of the 3.
Yeah, she was definitely my favorite for sure.
So, not so fun fact, her
Ooh,
actress her actress is named Maggie Threat, which is an awesome name.
that is awesome.
But she just passed away in December of last year at
Oh,
76 years old.
no.
So, pour one out
God.
for Maggie Threat.
Cheers,
So
cheers.
now I'm wondering, was the other one's name actually Maggie, or did I make that up because of
You made it up. We've been saying it wrong this whole time, and it's all your fault, and the show is ruined. We're canceled. That's
I'm
it,
looking it up.
folks. That's it, folks.
Fact
We had
check.
a great run. Got through like 5.5 episodes. We're good. This is great. I need to stop clapping. Um, yeah, we'll find out in
No, it is
3.
Magda. Which this is the thing.
Oh,
Eve
weird.
McHuron, Magda Kovacs, and Ruth Bonaventure. I guess their last names were in the script, but um, they never say them. Kirk just
Hmm.
suddenly refers to Eve as Ms. McHuron.
Yeah, he does.
It probably happened off screen in a scene that we didn't need to see, or maybe it was cut from the script. But
That's what I was wondering too when there was that sudden change in calling them by their last names.
I don't think we ever heard Ruth's. I would remember if they had
I
called
don't
her Miss
think so.
Bonaventure.
I can't even remember their first names clearly.
Yeah,
And I
but
watched
I
this
wasn't wrong.
many times.
Her name is Maggie. It
You
just so
have
happens that the actress playing Ruth is also a Maggie. We're not canceled. Show can continue.
all right, fine. Guess we can keep going.
But yeah, Ruthie's actress Maggie Threat was great. I thought she
Yeah.
had really good devious and scheming looks.
Yeah.
Um, Farrell needs to get a
Um,
hold of himself.
who? I missed.
Farrell, the bridge officer that Sulu was like, I know, Johnny.
Oh yeah.
It's like, and when they look at you, it feels like they're looking through you, you know? Like,
Yeah.
dude
Or they're
needs a
really looking
vacation.
at you. I know. There's just like such funny little moments like that that I love. Um, kind of random, kind of pointless, but just adds a little bit of spice.
Yeah. This is where one of the things I thought you were talking about, the conversation between Kirk and McCoy on the bridge about like, are they really more
Yes.
alluring than any other women that have been on the ship?
Mhm.
And he's like, why did they McCoy's like, why'd she make my panel go bleep? And Kirk's like, I don't follow. And McCoy's like, I don't either. And that was the end of the conversation.
I know! Oh my
Like,
god, I died.
why
I
don't
wish I
you
would've written that down because yeah, I was just like I was totally expecting him to say just like, "Never mind," or something like that, and he was just like, "Nah, no. Moving
Yeah,
on."
I was expecting he'd be like, "Well, she walked by my panel and it beeped in a way that
Yeah,
it's
like, that
not
would have
supposed to,
taken
so something's up."
1 second to explain, and also, like, the fact that he first said that to Kirk without explaining before was kind of out of character for him, but also maybe that just shows how much of effect that they're having on him that, like, he would just say that out of the blue, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, there was another comment about, I think it was when, I forget who said it, but I think it was Mud, talking about captains being married to their starships.
Yes.
I think it was saying that to Evie, uh,
Mhm.
which goes back to Naked Time, where we were talking about Kirk and
The
his
ship.
interest in Janice, but he can't, but he's because he is already in love with the ship.
Yep.
Um,
It's gonna
so
be
yeah,
an interesting three-way.
the miners come up to the ship and say they want Mud's deal,
Uh-huh.
and Childress is like, I'm gonna have him released and charges dropped. I'm like, you're a minor,
Yeah.
like not like under 18, but
Yes.
like a minor on a planet in the far reaches of the galaxy. How do you have the
I
authority to do this?
I interpreted that as they would like, the Starship Enterprise would drop the charges,
Oh, they'll still get the
like, in
lithium.
exchange.
Gotcha. Makes
Yeah.
sense. I'm just like, you can't do that. You have no authority, man.
Yeah. I don't think so, but that's what I
That makes
interpret it
sense.
as.
That
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like, we'll give you the crystals, but you
Mhm.
have to release Mud and drop the charges. Okay.
Yep.
That one went.
All good. It
So
happens.
yeah, did you have anything else before we talk about the end of the episode
Um,
as a whole?
I realized when I was, like, showing you how much notes I had, most of it was just, like, the summary.
Okay.
Because I decided to write it down, like, every little thing. Um, Interesting how the pills also looked like crystals. Like, they weren't,
Yeah,
like, pills, they were little gems, little
they look like
rubies.
jujubes.
Yeah.
They seem to be fond of using, and it makes sense. Like, it works. Like, using candy on this
Yeah.
show to simulate medicine. Um, and I think there was a sparkle effect done in post production to make them look like there was something special going
Yes.
on
They
with them.
definitely they definitely did a little bit of that, a little bit of spice, a little bit of sparkle spice. Yeah, I have the only things I have are like specific lines, but can get to that when we talk about lines.
Okay.
Some of them I've already mentioned, but there's a few others.
Um, yeah, the end of the episode was weird. Like, I don't know what they were trying to do. I
Uh-huh.
I think I think they were trying to put forth a good message with poor execution.
Yeah, I when I was watching it, I was like, is this gonna be how they kind of end all the episodes now with like this like high note again to like go into the next week? I don't know. It was very weird, like couple minutes at the very end that I did not. It just felt very out of place after the rest of the episode.
Cause like, there's no chemistry at all between Childress and Evie.
Mhm.
And she decides
Oh,
to
you're talking about
stay
that
with him.
part. Okay. Yes. Sorry. I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about like the very, very last scene because that's also kind of
No, the basically from the end of the episode, from the time that uh Kirk and Mud come back to Childress's quarters.
yes. Yeah, when she when He was like, "Oh, she can stay with me. Like we want to talk more." I was like, "When did you talk about
Like,
talking more? Excuse me?
yeah.
When was
When
this
did Evie say
discussed?"
that she wanted to talk? That's what I was wondering.
Which they asked her, which was good. They asked her and she said yes and I was like, "What?" I was like, "He's been treating you like shit." And you're okay with it? Like you think it's suddenly going to change or something? Like what world are you living in, woman?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it felt weird, and I get like the message with her taking the placebo or the fake drug and still like turning around and looking completely different. Like the message was, if you're confident and believe in yourself, you're going to put forth like put out the kind of energy that you should, and people are going to notice you, and you're going to put off charisma and et cetera, so forth.
Mhm.
But it was a really weird way to go about it, I
Yeah.
felt.
I did that is one line that I did write down was you either believe in yourself or you don't. Which I
Yeah.
mean is very like this or that factual statement, but I also found it very poignant and powerful and yeah, very uh exactly like what you just said, like very odd for such a that scene and B just to like have that be the message of this episode. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. That yeah, very odd.
Yeah, it was a little strange.
Just a little bit.
And
Just a
again,
wee
I think
bit.
the heart of the episode was in the right place. Like believe in yourself, like you
And
get
you'll
what you
be
give.
pretty.
I
Quote unquote pretty.
think it's more the way you carry yourself. Uh
Let's hope that's what it means.
Hopefully that's kind of what they
Yeah.
were going for. But yeah, it was a little bit of a weird execution. When you were talking about the end of the episode, you're talking about when um
Literally the very last scene.
was that when when
Sorry.
Mud
This is
was like,
not focusing on me.
when
There we
Mud
go.
was talking about leaving him on the planet, and Kirk's like, I'll be a character witness at your trial, and Mud's like, they'll throw away the key.
Yes, and just like the witty banter there is at the very end on the bridge.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that weird, but it just compared to other episodes where I don't know, I feel like maybe one of the episodes kind of ended similarly that we've watched so far, but I think for the most part they've just kind of ended, whereas this was like, okay, we got this and like moving forward.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I actually the for whatever reason the end of the episode did not stick with me, so I don't remember
It
the
stuck with
bridge
me because
conversation at
it
the
was
end.
so normal. Like, that is how a normal kind of like serialized episode would end. Like, it would be like, okay, we've wrapped up, looking forward to the next episode. And so I think that's why it kind of threw me off because the other episodes haven't been like that. And yeah, so
Gotcha.
normal but different.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I think we covered everything that I have written down about the episode. Do you
Cool.
have anything else? I think we covered it all.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think we can
start.
move
Oh,
on.
no. No, we did
Oh,
not cover the
just
most
kidding.
important thing.
What did we forget?
The cups are not in this episode at all. I did not spot a single
You had me
spray painted foam
so
cup.
worried. Oh my god. I truly hate you for that. I was like,
Sorry,
"Ah,
I didn't mean to
shit."
legitimately worry you. Like to be like, "Oh, I forgot to push record" or something like that.
TBT to
No, just there's no
person.
cups in this episode.
No cup report. We did still
No,
get a
no cup
Spock
report.
makeup report, so
We
that's
did.
important.
Yeah,
Important
the
things.
cup report is that there are no cups. And it was Stardate 1329.1. So
Okay.
it is an earlier recorded episode. But other than that, oh,
Okay.
no, McCoy's very obvious pinky ring on the bridge at the very end. I have that written down.
Did not see that.
He's got a
Glad you
big
saw it.
gold pinky ring on. I forget
I don't know how I missed
the way
that.
he's standing or something, there's a big gold pinky ring.
Huh.
Yep.
Missed that.
Okay.
Next time.
Uh, favorite moments lines is our next
Okay.
category.
I got
This is a
some
this is a long one, folks.
I got some for that. Which we already mentioned this one before, but the amen to that Scotty that McCoy
Yeah.
says. That was funny. Especially because usually when you say that, someone else says something, but Scotty didn't say anything.
He said
I don't know if
something I
he
didn't I th-
gestured.
I think I
Was
think
it cut?
McCoy was like delayed replying to something that Scotty said like way earlier, maybe.
Maybe? I don't know. I took it as like he was also staring at them, so he was like, "Amen to that."
Yeah.
Um, the next line is, "Men will always be men no matter where they are. You'll never take that out of them." When they're first walking around, and Leo was talking about that, and I was just like,
Mhm.
"Did I that sounds very much like the whole boys will be boys rhetoric." And I was just like, "All right, 'tis the
Yeah.
times. 'Tis the
Yeah.
times."
That's a relic of the 60s.
Yeah, let's for some people not so much, but let's leave it in the 60s.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It should stay there.
Yeah.
Um
Um Here, you do some.
uh it the I got my brain went in like three different directions.
You're fine.
Uh don't be a dick basically is what we're saying.
Yes.
Just just don't be a dick. It
It's not
shouldn't
that
be
hard to
hard,
be a
right?
decent human, as
Like,
I like
yeah,
to
just don't be a
say.
dick. And
Mhm.
if you wonder if doing something makes you a dick, it probably
Probably
does.
is.
Um,
Mhm. 1000%.
the conversation with McCoy and Kirk on the bridge when they're talking about like, are they alien illusion? Like when McCoy's like, you mean like alien illusion or something? And Kirk's like, I asked you first.
Yeah.
And
I think
then the exchange with, "Why'd she make my console go bleep?" And Kirk's like, "I don't follow." And McCoy's like, "I don't either." Just done.
Was it in that same conversation when McCoy was like, "Pound for pound, measurement for
Yep.
measurement, more beautiful"? I found that line
Yeah.
interesting. I was just like, "Alright, sir."
Yeah. That was that whole
Just putting
conversation.
it down to measurements and pounds.
Yeah, the measurement for measurement particularly I get what they're saying, but, like, it
Mhm.
I feel like you could have done better.
Yeah. Go ahead.
That's all I have. I
Okay.
didn't
My next my next one was, "I don't follow you. I don't either."
Yeah. So you had that one too.
Oh, it was just so good.
I
This
think that's the
one
standout.
yeah, this one that I mentioned before, "Oh, the sound of male ego. You travel halfway across the galaxy and it's still the same song." Loved that one. And then, yeah, once again, you either believe in yourself or you don't, like that whole conversation.
Mhm.
Yeah. Those are my stick out lines. I don't know if there was any. I mean, there's a lot of scenes that stuck out to me. Um, like the dancing, that whole dancing scene was kind of a clusterfuck. There
Yeah.
wasn't slapping though, was there?
No, there was the mock brawling where like the fight where they like grab each other and like rustle around a bit, but
Mhm.
no slapping that I saw.
Hmm. Sad. So, no slapping for once. Check that off of our things to check. Dang it, I just focused. Any specific scenes for you?
I think just the ones we've already talked about.
Okay.
The conversation between Kirk and Kirk and McCoy on the bridge is the one that just sticks out the most to me.
Mhm.
Um, I was looking through Memory Alpha for other quotes that might stick out because they do have a whole list of memorable quotes from the episode, but there aren't any that we didn't cover that uh, I think are notable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we move on with that's what
So
they said?
yeah, that's what they said. Uh,
I think I
do
got all
you?
most of the spelling okay. I did it very quickly. I think you went first last time.
I think so. So you
Okay,
want to
I'll go.
lead us off?
I'll go first. All right. That's what they said. Oh, he's receiving us, all right.
I just read the second one. How many did we get off?
Like something grabbing hold of you.
It'll be difficult to probe through it.
Satisfied, Mr. Scott?
He's pushing his engines too hard.
The three of them will be in position right about now.
Connors, are you finished?
Wonder what makes it do that.
Some people try to pretend.
Find the pill, Harry.
Is it a little blue one?
That's it for that's what they said. Oh, I am
That's what
blurry
they said,
again.
ladies and gentlemen.
We'll get this eventually.
Spoilers without context.
Yes.
Which of are we doing? Yours first or mine?
You can go first.
Okay. So we'll bring the spoilers without context up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think these are all pretty self-explanatory, except maybe the Jello.
Yeah, explain the Jello. I just explain all of them. Just for my
So,
own amusement.
uh, Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik from the song, just because of the mustache, and it's
Yeah.
same kind of like mustache twirling.
Mm-hmm.
Mud is more of a con man than a villain. Like he's just
Yeah, he's
a
kind of stupid.
yeah. Um, Lithium for the lithium crystals, the Nirvana lithium. I think that's the cover from the single. The Jello for the colored gelatin, because that's what Kirk says. Mud's like they took the drug. Kirk's like colored gelatin. Like that's what like all
Oh,
she had was jujubes essentially.
got it. It threw me off that it was purple because it's like they're red.
And then American Gothic for like, and the dude kind of looks like Childress.
Yeah, a little bit.
So this is, they're just going to be lithium miners on Rigel 12,
Yeah,
happily ever after, maybe, if they don't
guess
murder
it.
each other in 4 years. Because they were already fighting like the stereotypical old married couple
Uh-huh.
after knowing each other for 3 hours, if we're being generous. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my
Very good.
spoilers without context.
Should we do
And we'll
mine?
move to Kayla. Yeah, no, we're gonna skip yours. We're done.
Wow. The
Oh yes, we'll
sass,
do
the
yours.
shade, the shade. Also, that was
Here
not a
is
bear, that was a dog.
yeah.
If anyone's curious. All right. Should I go?
I think she'll be on screen, so people will see her walk in.
Oh, I know,
But
but
yeah.
like I'm saying she looks like a bear.
Oh,
So it's not a
I've
bear.
seen her a couple of times, so
Okay.
I just assume. Yeah, let's get your spoilers without context.
Okay, so it was hard because I really wanted to find like a swashbuckling pirate that had the same look as him. It was like a cowboy, casual pirate kind of look.
Uh huh.
And I couldn't find anything. I was getting really frustrated. And I was like, I'm just going to go with the pimp. So that's my pimp.
Intergalactic pimp.
Yep.
We'll come back to that.
And then the Powerpuff Girls because of the dresses, even though it was really a purple dress, but I was like close enough. It just gave me that vibe. McLovin's fake ID. When they like bring up all of his Mud stats and,
Yeah.
like, the picture and everything just looked so fake ID, and plus he was, lying about his identity and what he had done, so I felt like that was very fitting. And then the rubies were I almost said virgin pills, the Venus pills.
Yeah. There's I'm looking at the meme and it's bigger than like, I glanced at it on my phone and I thought they were gummy bears. Uh,
Mm,
but I see that they're like you said, they're
raw
rubies now,
cut
so
rubies.
yeah.
Yep, that's it for memes.
Okay. So it's time to rank the episode.
Ooh, okay. Well,
Alright, you ready?
yeah, I'm
Ensign
thinking.
Kayla.
Yes, I'm an ensign, don't remind me. Um, I'm fluctuating between commander and captain. The only thing that's making me hesitate to not give it captain is, the whole pimping them out thing, but also they wanted that?
Yeah, that was like, they weren't doing any of this against their will. They were in on the con, right?
Yeah.
Like, they were fine with it.
Yeah.
Evie ended up having doubts near the end, but,
Yeah.
like, everybody was a willing participant. It
Exactly.
was consensual.
Yes. And for all the clusterfuck that this episode was, it was very entertaining, and I was, like, hooked right away. Like, I literally texted you, I was like, "I can't wait to talk about this episode. I have a lot of thoughts."
Yeah,
Um, yeah, for the clusterfuck that it is, I think it's still thoroughly entertaining, funny, quirky, like, weird new characters. Also, like, still kind of a similar idea to things that have happened, with the, like, changing of their appearance, um, in terms of that kind of trope, but at the same time still felt a lot
it was
different than the other episodes.
yeah, still very different, yeah.
Yeah, especially, yeah. I mean, there's definitely plot holes, definitely, it wasn't perfect, but I think if I'm gonna, like, whether I recommend it to someone or not, I think I'm gonna give it a captain.
Okay.
Guessing you're not?
No, I am. So, um,
Wow.
yeah, I
I'm shocked. I thought I was gonna be
for
alone in
one
that.
main reason, um, I was considering Commander, but there is one main reason that I'll give it Captain, and it's a very, very, very mild spoiler. Um,
Okay.
there's more episodes with Harry Mudd, so he has a couple
No
more
way.
appearances throughout the show. Yeah, so I think that makes it a captain.
Sorry, I think we might have to
It's
cut this
fine.
part out. She's just very whining at me. Okay, baby.
That's okay. People are
I
used to
think
it's the live stream feel, like, right? We're
yes.
trying to make it feel like we're live streaming when we're not. We're pre-recording.
Yeah.
Cat's out of the
Okay.
bag, folks. Um,
I think we're okay.
I think because Mud appears again,
Okay.
that it makes it has to be a captain ranked
Okay.
episode because it's the introduction to Mud. Um, Not as problematic as an episode as I remember when we signed off last time. I'm like, this could be. It's been a long
Yeah.
time since I watched this one, so I didn't
Yeah.
remember all the details. I was like, oh, this could be a problematic one, but it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No. Same. Because you said that.
Yeah.
I blame you
Uh,
once again. Was expecting an orgy the other week. I was expecting this to be problematic. Just stop setting my expectations. Don't tell me. I need
I
to keep them
mean,
just like bare minimum.
cool. I will do that. Uh, yeah. So we give Mud's women a unanimous rank of captain.
Woo, woo.
We've
So watch it.
totally skipped the episode trivia. So we'll do that now.
Oh. I thought you were just sprinkling it in before, so I thought that was all you had to say. I'm sorry.
Well, I've got the outline right here in front of me, and I still skipped over it from that's what they said to memes. So that's okay. Shake things up a bit.
Shake it up.
Uh, Play with the format, see what works.
Mhm.
So, because this is where I got back to, I said we'll get back to the pimp thing, but we would
Oh,
have already
okay.
been past it. Uh,
It's fine. It's fine.
NBC did not choose this episode as the second pilot, mostly because they were worried about the central theme of selling women throughout the galaxy and the guest stars being an intergalactic pimp and 3 space hookers.
I just love intergalactic pimp
He
and
is
3
an
space
intergalactic
hookers.
pimp.
That's I have you heard, like, those, like, one-liners like that where you just tell an entire story in one
Yeah,
line? That's
yeah.
what it reminds me of, even though it's not. It's just like a statement. An intergalactic pimp and 3
Space
space
hookers.
hookers. That's all you need to
Which,
know. That's all you need to know for this
yeah,
episode. Should have led with that. There, just say that and we're done. Should have
yeah.
just done that. Oh well, too bad. Next time. Next
A
time there's an
lengthy
intergalactic pimp and 3 space hookers.
intergalactic pimp. Yeah. That's all you need to say. The
Mhm.
Enterprise is visited by an intergalactic pimp and 3 space hookers. Well, I'm sold.
Mhm. Mhm.
um
Yep.
a lengthy monologue in which Harry Mudd attempted to persuade Uhura into taking the Venus drug was excluded from the episode. The scene's removal was because it was deemed too wordy and long. I don't think it was ever shot. I think it was
That's why
the
it was removed.
the implication was that it was cut from filming before it was even filmed because it was deemed too wordy and long. According to Starlog number 127, page 33. The
Interesting.
act Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that and
She would
what the
have given
argument.
him so much shit. You're like,
Yeah.
"Why the fuck do I need to take this? I'm fucking beautiful."
Continuing, Roger C. Carmel, the actor who played Harry Mudd, was extremely disappointed by the deletion of this monologue, later describing it as wonderful. He explained, I remember being very disappointed because I felt the monologue was very effective and very much to the point of the show's philosophy. He nevertheless liked this episode.
Hmm.
And then
I'm very
the last
curious.
one, yeah, I'm sure if we dug, we could find the monologue somewhere.
Yeah.
Uh, so maybe we'll have to look that up. Uh, This and I covered this. This and Where No Man Has Gone Before, the only episodes where the crystals that power the engines are called lithium. Throughout the rest of the series and
Yeah.
every other series that follows, they're called dilithium crystals.
Dilithium. Sorry, is that a thing in real life? I should know
I,
this. I did science.
I don't think so. I
I know
think they are
lithium.
fictional.
Can you have 2 lithium?
Yeah, in the fiction Star Trek fictional universe, dilithium is an invented material
Okay.
which serves as a controlling agent in the matter antimatter reactors.
Matter, antimatter. Can't mix them.
Hmm. That's what power starships is a matter
Mhm.
antimatter being mixed. The
I know.
reaction makes warp drive possible.
It's from the other episode.
Oh yeah, the
It's like it's gonna explode or something like that. Like something's bad.
the explosion. If you mix them cold, I think it was.
Yeah, it was like a certain way.
Yeah, without letting the engines warm up.
Something
Cold
like that.
fusion.
Mm.
Something like that. It's been like a week since we talked about that.
Nerd.
It's gone.
We are nerds. Or geeks. Geeking the F.
This is one of the things I haven't talked about when I'm surprised I didn't mention when we were talking about our history with Star Trek in the intro video.
Mhm.
I have read so the Star Trek Next Generation Technical Manual is a book that was written by the writers and published. It's an in-universe. It's essentially like
It's canon.
your car owner's manual for the Enterprise D. I've read that thing cover to cover more than once. Not sure if I'm proud of that or not.
Nerd.
No, I am proud of it.
That is a next level of nerd. I
Yeah.
That's amazing, honestly. I love
Star Trek
that.
Encyclopedia. I had the Star Trek Encyclopedia, Star Trek Companion, all
How
sorts of tangential books.
big of a book is that?
The Encyclopedia.
No, the,
Oh,
Enterprise one.
the technical manual, pretty
Yeah.
thin actually.
Oh, you made it sound so big. That's what they said.
I mean it's an 8.5 by 11 sized book, so it's like
Oh,
this size, couple hundred pages, 150, 200 pages, lots of
that's a
diagrams
lot.
and techno babble. It's great. It's a fantastic book. Love it. They did one for the NCC 1701 Enterprise too. Mr. Scott's Guide to the Enterprise, same premise, and
Mm,
they did one for Deep Space Nine. I don't think they ever did one for Voyager. I don't think they've
interesting.
done any since the Deep Space Nine one. But
Hmm,
yeah,
that's cool. That's cool, what's the word? Something material to have.
supplemental.
Supplemental. There you go. Thank you.
I miss some of the. It's so easy to find stuff for fandoms now with the internet and Amazon and everybody
Yeah.
having their own shops. But I kind of miss. I'm going to sound like I'm dating myself, but like when Next Generation was on the air and I was a newer Star Trek fan, they would have they'd have Star Trek specials on QVC. They had such cool shit. They had
Like, to buy from QVC?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, how funny.
This is pre-internet days. So
TBT.
like 2 hours worth of Star Trek stuff on being sold. I had the soundboard communicator pin, so it was and it blew my mind at the time. It was the comm badge with a magnet and a little like plastic thing with one of those like buttons. So when you tapped it, it hit the button and actually made the communicator chirp from Star Trek: The Next Generation. It was pretty
Oh,
cool.
that
I
is
loved that thing.
cool. The things
Um,
that QVC advertises.
Plates.
So
There were a lot of
plates.
collector plates back in those days. I
Why
think
was
somebody
that such
mentioned
a
that.
thing? Like, I remember having, like, Hercules plates and stuff as a kid.
I'm sure they're still available for people to buy
Oh,
collector's
they
plates for
are.
things.
They
But
definitely
yeah, I
are.
don't know. I was never interested in the collector's plates.
Mm.
Uh,
I had no choice. I was a child. It was thrust
yeah.
upon me. Here's a plate. Eat
um,
off of it.
okay, this episode's already long.
Yeah.
We're done talking about it.
Sorry,
What's
guys.
next?
What is
Episode
next?
7. I mean, if see, I get this with some of the streams. Like, I'd sit here and listen to you guys talk forever, but we can't sit here and talk forever. So that's
No.
where we're going to end. The next episode is episode 7. What are little girls made of? Nurse Chapel is reunited with her fiance, but his new obsession leads him to make an android duplicate of Captain Kirk. That is what IMDb says about this episode.
A what duplicate?
Android. I said it weird.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought
Yeah.
you said, like, Andorian. I was like, "What?"
Nope. I mean,
An
Andorian is
and
a yeah.
yeah. Um,
Were there Andorians
interesting.
in the Kelvin verse movies?
I don't know. What's an Andorian?
That's what you just said.
I know, but
It's an
what's
actual
an
Star Trek race.
It
There's an
is?
actual race called Andorians. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yep.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
We'll
That's
meet
just
them
what it sounded
eventually.
like to me.
Yeah. Uh
That's so funny. Okay, this episode sounds interesting. It's not what I thought it was gonna be about, but also our another freaking clone
yeah.
duplicate. What is this, like
Yeah.
the
This
third time now?
already.
Jesus.
Yeah. We're almost half the episodes. 3 out of 7.
That's crazy.
I mean, I'm just getting them all out of the way first, I suppose.
I hope so. I want some new tropes.
Yeah. Um okay. This one's been long. Thanks for sticking with us.
That's what they
Uh,
said.
uh, do all
Get
the YouTube
in.
stuff.
Smack everything. Smack that subscribe. Smack that bell icon. Smack that
We've
like.
we've probably told you this 100 times already because the plan is to be in the chat with you while this is airing, while you're watching it. So,
Yes. Yeah.
welcome to the Department of Redundancy department. Um,
Just checking all the boxes. It's fine.
smack that like
Smack
button.
it. Smack it real good. And you can follow us at the GTFO channel on both Instagram and Twitter. Get all the updates on there. Feel free. Don't have to, but you can. And
Yep,
I think that's it.
that's it.
Shall we?
We shall.
Ready?
Ready?
Peace and long life.
Live long and prosper.
Why does my pinky, what? Like, that just looks so. Bye.
Bye.